More than half of the residents in Delhi have been exposed to the coronavirus and have apparently developed antibodies for the infection. This is what the 5th serological survey in the capital has found. This is what the government has said. Now, the data suggested that Delhi is inching towards herd immunity, but people shouldn't let their guard down, is what the Delhi Health Minister Satyendra Jain had to say.
केंद्रीय स्वास्थ्य मंत्री बता सकते हैं कि कम्युनिटी स्प्रेड हुआ या नहीं हुआ। कम्युनिटी में स्प्रेड तो है। अगर 56% लोग हो चुके हैं, 56% तो क्लियर है ना कि हो चुके हैं। आप उनसे क्वेश्चन पूछ लीजिएगा मानते हैं नहीं मानते।
ये संतोष नहीं कर लेना है कि हर्ड इम्यूनिटी इसमें आ गई या नहीं आ गई। लेट अस वेट एंड सी बिकॉज बहुत ही नई बीमारी है। हम किसी भी तरह का गलत संकेत अपनी तरफ से नहीं देना चाहते।
Well, joining us now, Dr. Romel Tikku, Associate Director of Internal Medicine at Max Healthcare. We're also joined by Reena Gupta, spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party. Dr. Tikku, let me come to you first. You know, it's quite clear that things are getting better in Delhi, but this sero study seems to indicate that more than half of Delhi has had COVID. Does that, as a practitioner of medicine, make sense to you that 8 million plus people in Delhi have already had COVID?
Well, Vishnu, I was anyway expecting more than 50% positivity.
Really?
Because the way things were in Delhi, in the month of November, I can't tell you, we were so busy, all of us, the doctors, round the clock we've been working, and almost every other person, every other household that you knew of had a positive patient. So it's not a surprise for me, and I'm glad it's more than 50%, because it just tells us that we might reach herd immunity, or we have already reached there. Because apart from the fact that more than 50% of people have naturally been infected, it's also something about the vaccination now. Because the vaccination will further boost our effort to reach herd immunity. Because see, herd immunity you reach only when more than 50 to 60% people get infected, either naturally or they develop antibodies after vaccination. So I think if already 50% more than that, people have antibodies on top of that, the way India is aggressively vaccinating people, so it's a big positive, especially for Delhi. We've really suffered in the month of November, and I think we've already peaked, and this was anyway expected. And this is big news, positive news for Delhi, that in spite of the way we've suffered, but finally we have some respite now.
Dr. Tikku,
finally,
I've got the breakup of districts. Now, Southeast, you know, you work in Southeast Delhi, right? I mean, that's where the hospital where you work in is located, is at 62.18% is the adjusted seroprevalence. So it's well more than 60%. But I mean, a lot of people have concerns about herd immunity. The WHO says that herd immunity is once you cross what, 60%, 50 to 60 isn't quite it. So if we are expecting beyond 60% to start getting to herd immunity, there would also possibly be a very large jump in the number of cases, possibly in the number of deaths as well. Is that thought about herd immunity something that we should really engage in?
See, deaths will only happen when you have more number of people getting infected. But right now, the way things are in India or in Delhi, the cases are going down. See, you have only cases in Kerala and Maharashtra. 67% cases you have in Kerala and Maharashtra. So if you take Delhi, for example, if already 50% people have antibodies, on top of that you have 100, 200 cases a day. So how will the mortality increase?
Right.
You anyway have a lot of people who have antibodies. On top of that, you're vaccinating people. Maybe the healthcare workers, but eventually even the common man will get vaccinated soon. And that's how you will reach herd immunity.
Yeah.
I don't see any reason why we should be worried about the fact that mortality will increase. And as far as UK, US, other countries are concerned, it's the mutant strains which are creating havoc there. And even with mutant strains, India hasn't had issues so far. So I have no reason to believe that we'll be in trouble in future. The way we are right now, the situation in India, we're doing very well. We are in a good
we
place
are
on top
absolutely.
of that.
Statistically, we are finally.
So 50 to 60%
but doctor, just a few
people,
weeks back, there wasn't a single ventilator bed available in any of the hospitals which are private. Certainly not in your hospital. It was a very difficult situation. We seem to have turned the corner, and I suppose I'm asking this because it's just a fairly short period of time, a few weeks, in which we've really turned things around. I want to go across to Reena Gupta as well. Reena, you've been listening in. would it be fair to say that this number, if the number is accurate, more than 50% seroprevalence, would indicate that we never in Delhi had an accurate number of the number of people getting COVID? We had some people who said they were sick, others stayed at home and didn't report, others went to hospital, some fell very unwell. We had their number. But if you're saying more than 8 million people in Delhi had this, then we evidently never had a real idea earlier on of how many people were sick.
So, Vishnu, I am definitely not an expert, but one can develop antibodies even if you're exposed to somebody who's COVID positive. So you don't necessarily need to have COVID in order to develop antibodies. And, correct me if I'm wrong. Having said that, I think what also really helped Delhi was the mask wearing. Things started to turn around 2.5 months ago when the Delhi government put a strict fine on people not wearing a mask. And that, to my mind, was one of the most important things, apart from everything else that the government of Delhi did. We were very, very proactive in terms of providing health services and the home isolation model for Delhi. So today I'm actually very grateful to all the frontline workers and all the doctors in Delhi who have really worked very, very hard for almost a year. And finally, one can think that, okay, maybe we have reached a stage where things are starting to look up. But having said that, the virus has been, this virus, the way it's behaved, has surprised us many times. It has confused specialists all over the world. So, we need to still continue to take precautions and practice the COVID appropriate behavior. Even today, the health minister and the director of Delhi Medical Services requested Delhiites that even with this high seroprevalence, we need to continue taking all the precautions.
Reena, we'll talk more about that because I think that really is a really important message. But Dr. Tikku, let me come back to you. Reena making the point that you could actually develop antibodies even without having had COVID. But as I understand it, you would still have had COVID except it was asymptomatic. But technically you would have had COVID to get antibodies. Is that right?
Yeah, maybe you didn't have the symptoms, but you had asymptomatic. Asymptomatic basically means you're exposed to the virus and you develop antibodies. Maybe you didn't have symptoms of high-grade fever, body ache or flu-like symptoms, but then you are immune. Bottom line is you're immune to the disease. And a lot of people actually had asymptomatic disease. So that eventually leads to herd immunity or once they develop antibodies. And that's what it basically means. But having said that, you don't know how long will the antibodies be there in your blood. So how long will the immunity last? That is another big question that we have to answer, and we don't have enough data on that.
Sure.
And that's why we should not let our guard down. Even after vaccination, we don't know how long the immunity will last.
No, but Dr. Tikku, let me ask you this, and we will spread the message as we always do of the, on being careful. What is cross immunity? Where we in India apparently, because the science is fairly sketchy on this, are we genetically predisposed, perhaps at this time of the year, to picking up some sort of immunity which is cross-protecting us from COVID as well?
No, see, a lot of us must have had other viral infections or other coronaviruses in the past. Even in children, you see others. So you do see some sort of cross-immunity which confers you immunity against other viruses. There is some concept like that.
Why didn't this work earlier then? I mean, a few months back.
Theories. This is a hypothesis. We don't know about it. In children, usually they said, because when we saw that initially children were not getting severe disease or the mortality was low in children, that must be one of the hypotheses. So nobody knows for sure. But yes, in India, coming to your point, in India, we do have a good immunity. The kind of infections we are exposed to, there's something called hygiene hypotheses, that people who are too much into hygiene or cleanliness don't have that sort of a good immunity. And that's where India has had a positive thing about immunity, because we're exposed to so much of infections throughout, even during childhood. We've been exposed to so many infections that you develop. And then India is a young country.
So that obviously helps.
And plus but the virus also behaves differently. I mean, it has behaved very differently in India if you compare it with how it has behaved abroad in Europe or UK and US. So there's definitely something which is helping us, apart from the fact that there's cross immunity. I would say it's the innate immunity of Indians, it's the way the virus has worked here, or some other hypothesis.
Okay.
We won't know, only data will
Okay,
tell
Doctor,
us.
I'm just running short on time. I want to come back to what we keep saying. So let Reena say this. To people watching this program, people in Delhi, other parts of the country as well, how important is it to keep wearing that mask, keep maintaining social distance? Because, you know, there are mutant strains. God forbid a mutant strain developing over here. And Reena, it has to be said, every other person in Delhi doesn't follow what you're going to say. So there's a lot the government needs to keep doing at this stage.
Yeah, Vishnu, the government will keep doing what it needs to do. And, you know, I just want to make one last point. I think during this COVID time, one thing which has become even more clear is that as a country, we need to really invest in public healthcare system. And I was very disappointed to see that in the budget yesterday, I did not see any increased allocation for the public health infrastructure. The only reason Delhi was actually able to face this problem was because there is good public hospitals in Delhi. Even people like you and me who go to private hospitals this time realized the importance of having good government hospitals. So, you know, moving forward, whether it's COVID or it's any other new virus which comes in, that is one thing that, you know, we really need to invest in.
You know, 100%. And thank heavens here in Delhi, we had that overflow facility at that Rajiv Gandhi hospital. That was the one hospital, even when AIIMS was running out of beds with ventilators, that was a facility which was stressed, but there were still beds which were available. Difficult to get, but there were still ventilators over there. Hopefully, we never ever have to test this sort of capacity again in Delhi, but we need to stay careful. I'd like to thank both of you very much for joining us.